Hello creation, I hope you're well. I've not written anything, but what I do want to do is just try and put across how important it is to, if you can, quickly move on from those low vibrations and try and pick yourself up from it, regardless of what it is that's happened or not. As you know from previous videos, I've just been to a really good buddy's funeral day before yesterday. So yesterday was a total wipeout for me. I had no energy, the tears were flowing, plentiful, which is what we've got to do. If those tears have to flow, we have to let them flow. It's no good locking stuff away. I've got another buddy who locks it all away and won't accept any of it, and it's ruining him. It is ruining him. But nobody can help us but ourselves. We've got to allow people in sometimes to help us to heal. That's massive. Sometimes, it's almost like, because it's almost like a 1970s, the decade, the 1970s. It's like that attitude of men are men, we'll go out, we'll have a pint, we'll get stuck in, we'll, all that physical stuff, and a lot of them weren't happy unless they'd had a pint and a fight. Well, it's true. in sort of those days it was almost like it was a way of life, Anyway, glad that decade's sort of 50 years back, isn't it? But so some though, it's that stigma with where they think that people will they'll be seen as soft, as weak, if you seek help. Not at all. It's the only way sometimes. You've got to do it, because if you don't, you're going to ruin yourself. And also it affects those who love you, be that family or friends or work colleagues, So it really is vitally important to speak up. Of course it is. And we need to get over, and I don't mean this to come across in a judgmental way, but we need to get over ourselves. We need to get over the self, don't we? The image, this that what's being expected of us through society, through us communities, through us families and us upbringings, and all that sort of stuff. So if you are out there and you are struggling and you're holding stuff in, please seek help for it, because it ruins lives, not just yours, not just yours. It ruins lives, So, but ultimately it's your life, so it's your decision. It's up to you whether you want to get beyond it or not. But don't think that you can't, because you can. You can pick yourself up, you can dust yourself down. You can say, do you know what? I'm not that. I'm not all those experiences what happened to me. I'm not. That's not me. That version of me is back there. I deserve love. I deserve to be healed. I deserve a happy life. I'm here. I am here as an expression of consciousness. And if you're not enjoying the way that you're expressing yourself, and it doesn't bring you fulfillment and it doesn't bring you happiness, if you're restricting yourself through to inner demons and traumas and all that sort of stuff, then they need your attention. They need your attention. You need to sort that out. Don't think for one moment that you cannot live a happy life, because you can. You can. And it can be hard sometimes, of course it can. And that road to recovery from whatever it is can be a difficult road. It can be a very, very, very fucking very hard path. But you can get through it. Because you're God source energy in the flesh. You're the creator in the flesh. You're whatever name you want to give it in the flesh. On the front line. Here in this dense energy. To learn. To interact. To come to express your essence. Your divinity. Because you're all divine. You're all of the divine. Expressing in whichever role you are playing. So, this is put out there for those. If it resonates with you, then please, and you can get something from this, and you are holding yourself back, please do something about it, because I guarantee you'll live a happier life. If you are empaths out there, if you are, and you obviously feel, and you're more sensitive than most, and you can pick up on energies. You don't even have to hug someone to pick up on energies, on their energy. We've got to look after ourselves as well. We've got to make sure that we do look after our energies as well. Put those, protective barriers, energetic barriers up. Yeah, I don't mean don't let anybody in. I mean just make sure we look after his energy. Because if not, it depends on what role you're playing as well. Because some are on this role to take on board others' energies and then to transmute them, to work through them and transmute them. And that can be a difficult task in itself. Especially, how do you protect yourself from that? When you're an empath, when you've got that sympathy, you're sympathetic, you're a sensitive being, and you're here to transmute, because you're made up of love, and you're here to transmute those lower vibrational frequencies into higher vibrational frequencies. You're here to take those energies off of those others who don't know how to do it, or it's not their job to do it. It's not their job to do it. They're in the external with representing that kind of energy at that particular time for you to grow as well. So for you to be able to go in there and do your alchemy work, transmute those energies. It's a two-way thing. You're relieving them of the burdenous energies, but you're transmuting them anyway. And you're ascending, you're helping in the ascension of the human species, throughout all of creation, not just the human species, but throughout all dimensions, all paradigms, past, present, future. It's all linked. It's all linked. There's such a lot that many don't know, that many don't want to know, because it frightens them. It frightens them. But if you're out there and you're holding those energies within, and those energies are ruining you, those are low vibrational frequency energies, you need to get rid of them. And there are ways and there are means. And yes, you can go to your doctors and seek help. Seek help. Look online. See what you can. Try different things. Try meditation. Seek help. Don't be afraid to explore new avenues, because it's fear that is ruining you. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. You're all loved, and you're all worthy of love. But it's up to you to take that first step forward in your healing journey. That's it for now. Take care.